Hey guys, welcome to LZH project. My name is Salman Francis, and in this video we are going to take a look at the find command. So the find command is a great tool for searching your file system for files. It searches your file system live, and that is the reason it is a bit slower than the locate command, which searches the file through a database. However, we can speed things up by mentioning fewer options, which omits the unrequired searches. So basically, find is kind of slower than locate command, but still we can use it with mentioning the fewer objects or fewer options, so it can search really fast. With find command, we can search for file's name, ownership, permission, size modification, times, etc., etc. So for example, let's say we want to search some files. So this is the syntax it's going to follow, like find, then the directory where you want to find it, and press enter. For example, let me show you this in this live system. So let's say find etc directory. Press enter will find everything in the etc directory. Okay, it will list all the files. Okay, then next, find files by file name. So by file name, we can also use this command, find / that the directory name, and then the name of the file which we need to find. So for example, let's say we want to find httpd.conf file. So what I'm going to do is find / etc, and then I need to mention the name, which is httpd.conf. Press enter, and here you can see that it's telling me that it's in the httpd directory. Okay, then also we can use, instead of name, we can use the iname. And iname, the difference between name and iname is I means ignore case sensitivity. For example, let's say there's a file. Let me go to this httpd directory, and let me create a file with capital httpd.conf. Okay, so you can see that this directory conf. Okay, over here I'm going to create this directory httpd.conf. It's totally different case. Okay, you can see that it has a capital H, capital T, small t, and pd, and these are, you can see that, two different files. In Linux you can make these files. Okay, now if I try to find it with -name option and mention this httpd.conf, it's not going to list the newly created file. So in that case, we are going to use iname, which is case insensitive. And you can see that it's listing both files. Okay, so that's the main difference between name and iname. Okay, back to our slides. So to find the files by username, again, so guys, this is my new way of teaching, like with slides, so it helps me remember what I need to demonstrate also. So find files by username. So find /homes -user -cell. So let's go to our live system, and over here find -home and -user is let me check what users do I have in the system. etc passwd wrap cell. Yeah, we have a user Salman, so let's find /home, and user is Salman. So it's going to list all the files or things which a user has in his home directory. Okay, good enough. Let's check another user. So we have this user, it pings. Okay, so find home of user it pings, and it's going to list all the content for user it pings. Clear? Okay, next we are going to list the files not owned by root or any other user. So let's go back. To do that, use the find command etc space not dash user and the username, and then list the content. So this is going to find all the files in etc directory which are not owned by user root. And you can see that it listed all the files not owned by user root. Okay, please don't mix this thing because this is the group. This is the user. Okay. And same way we can use the group also. With this, instead of mentioning the user, we are going to mention the group. For example, find in etc group. Like this time I'm going to find group root. Like list all the files which are owned by the group root. Okay. And you can see that it's mentioning all the files owned by the group root. Okay, good. So let's move to our next slide, which is finding files by file size. So let's say we want to look at some file which is greater than 100 megabytes. We can use this command. Okay, and let's check on our live system. Let's check if we have such file. Find /var, because logs are usually big, that's why I'm looking into this directory. You can mention whatever directory you like. Okay, so size is plus 100 M. Okay, I can see that we don't have such file. So what I can do is I'm just going to create a file. Let's create file touch in var log big file.txt, and I'm going to use the command sequence 1 to 100,000. Okay. Now let's check if we have 100 megabytes. Find. No, still not enough. What about this time? Nope. Okay, let's check the size of this file. It's 6.6. Okay, I'm going to change this file. Let's say it's like bigger than 5 megabytes. Okay, so now here we have it. Perfect. So what about bigger than 6 megabytes? We still have this. Okay, now I'm going to change it to one more. And this time I think we have some big file. Yes, it's 76 megabytes. Okay, what about 50? So there we have it. So this is how you can easily check the file given by the size name. Okay, and now this is a very important command, combining the size output with other commands. So what I'm going to do is, let's say we would like to know the log files greater than 100 megabytes or 50 megabytes, and we would like to know the size of them. So exact name and the exact size. Okay, so what we can do is we can use this command, find in this directory the size, and execute this command. So execute is in combination of this command will result in both commands. So this means that it's going to find the size which is greater than this and execute this command. Okay, and this whole syntax is important. I'm just going to copy it and I'm going to paste it over here. But instead of, I will like, let's say 50. Press enter and you can see that it's giving me the exact size. So this is the file, big file, and it's 76 megabytes long. And without this, it's not going to, it's just going to list the file. You can see it's not showing me the exact size. So what if I would like to know files which are greater than 5 megabytes, find the files in var/var/log greater than 5 megabytes and execute the size. You can see we have two files here. One is 6.1 megabytes and the other is 76 megabytes. Okay, perfect. I'm just, okay, clear the screen. Now in our next, okay, let me explain you this. This basically, the curly braces is where the find command will put the files it has found, and I call it a placeholder. Okay, so basically it's a kind of a placeholder, like where it will find the size of these files, put it here, these files, and then this command will be executed on these files. Okay, now we are going to find the files by permission. So for example, there's a file you would like to know which has the read, write, read permission. You can see that 644. So let's find that files in etc. Find in etc. You can use any directory anyway. So the perm is the command, 644 is the permission, and ls is the list. And here you have it: read, write, read, read, write, read, all the permissions which you like. Let's check if we like to know any files which have only permissions with the read, write of the owner and no permissions for others and group members. And yes, we have these files which says read, write, read, write. Okay, perfect. Okay, what we have in another example, the above will list the files. Okay, good. Find etc permission 640 and type F. Okay, searching with respect to files and directories. So basically this is like, it's going to find this the files and directories. Type F means type of file. Okay, if you mention this command without F, it's going to list everything with directories and files. So let's check this. Permission is 640, let's say, and type is file. And here it's going to give us all the list of the files. What about type D? Type D is basically a type of directory, and we are going to use in root folder. Any directory which has no permission at all. And you can see that /systemd/inaccessible has no permission. Control C, it's going to take some time because it's searching the full root folder. What about directory with 775? And here we have it, all the directories which have 775 or read, write, execute, and read, execute. So we can check it by ls-ld command of opt. And you can see that it has read, write, execute 755 actually. 755. It has the full file name actually. Let's check. Yeah, full directory. Here we have it. Read, write, execute, and read, execute. Perfect. So this is the full directory name which has this permission. Okay, from above you can see that it will search for the directories with like such permissions. And for this 00, because I made these slides with different examples, so you can check different wordings here. Okay, now in this slide we are going to take a look like what we can do with the modified minutes option, and to check any changes in the file with respect to time. So let's say you have created a file a few minutes ago and you forgot the name of the file you created. So you can run this command, but the problem with this is that the file should be modified. Let's say you have modified a file. It should be like, let's say you not created, modified a file. So modified a file a few minutes ago and you forgot the name of the file. Okay, so this is more appropriate. So let's take a look in the live system. So vim etc, we created this file. I'm just going to modify it. Okay, modify it. Let's say this. Okay, now find, and there was something in var. Okay, I just don't remember. In var there was a file which was modified around 5 minutes ago, and it's going to take a look at this file, and it's not bringing me something because it was in our log directory. Sorry. And that's funny because it should, let's say 10 minutes. Okay, let's and it's showing me this /var/log/bigfile.txt over here. Okay, what about 10 minutes ago? Yeah, it's still this file. Okay, let's create another file just to make sure. Touch find file.txt. Okay, find file.txt. Here is the change. And it's in root directory, but I'm going to move it to OPT because otherwise it's going to take a lot of time. So now this time find in OPT, which a file which was modified 5 minutes ago with the dash, and here we have it. So that dash was important actually, -5. Okay, I'm going to change in this slide also. Okay, if you need any help you can always man find, and here let's check -minutes. So here you have it, -minutes. Next, and so it's telling us that files data was last modified n minutes ago. Okay, well, good enough. We have clarified everything. So okay, what about next slide? So in this slide, for example, let's create a file, time testing, and it's here's the example also. So I forgot in the previous slide, so there's a dash we need to mention. So anyway, okay, now to check any changes in permission change some time ago. So this is the permission change. So find the directory, and if there is a change 10 minutes ago, nothing. What about OPT? And we can see that there is a change in the file 10 minutes ago. Okay, we can see that it's showing the file whose permission was changed in last 10 minutes. Let's check because this file was created, and is it going to show us the same in our var log file? And yes, it's showing us var log big file over here. Okay, so man of find and C time. C time will reveal that here file status was changed, last change, and how many hours ago. See the command for a time. Okay, this is the change status. So anytime the file is changed, we can check it with the C minutes command. Okay, what about 24 3600, and these are the files changed in 3600 minutes. Okay, we can also check with regards to number of days with C time. So change time, like C time 3 means number of days, so it's going to give you the same output with respect to number of days. So let's say in 3 days, if there is a change in /bin and /sbin directories. Okay, so there's no change. What about /opt and /var? And yes, lots of changes. So you can take a look at this. Okay, to check what files were accessed in 10 days or 100 days or any number of days, we can use a time. So a time is access time, and -100 means the 100 days. So let's check in 1 day instead of 100 day. So we can use find /opt and /var. A time is 1. So these are the files accessed in 1 day. /var, just to prove it, we should grep. Here you have this big file and find file. Okay, good. Okay, and to check what files were not accessed in 100 days, we can use plus. Okay, and you can check this minus and plus. These are the two things. When they were accessed, you use the minus sign. When they were not accessed, you use the plus sign. Okay, next, finding the files and executing the commands on those found files. So this is very important. Let's say we created a file, bigfile.txt, and now I would like to remove that file. So I'm going to use this command. Okay, so find the file. This is, trust me, this is really important command. Find in, let's say there's a big log file, and iname I'm going to mention because it's, or exact name, you can say name or iname, whatever you like, and then the file name, big file, and execute rm-rf and the placeholder, and then we need to mention / with the colon. Okay, press enter, and now let's go to this var log and check if big file is there. It's still there. Okay, what about -name and bigfile.txt? I think we need to mention, but let's check. Yeah, bigfile.txt, it should be like this. Now it's gone. Okay, so we need to mention the exact name. But anyway, this is a very important command for what happened actually. What happened in the real life example I just want to give you, that I was like, there was a backup server and there were lots of mail files which were mixed on the rotation period. So it means that there was a specific file that's a mail dot something, and it was like 100 megabytes, and then every day and after every like couple of hours it was rotating, and it was making like after every 5 minutes or hour it was making 100 to 200, then to 300, then to 400, and in gigabytes. So what I did, I just found the file name what was rotating in the backup server, and I used this command. And because I knew the exact name of the file, and I removed everything from that, like with the name of that file, and it helped me a lot. Like otherwise I have to go in manually like delete all the files. Okay, so this is very important command. Okay, so next is file permissions. We have already checked. Okay, finding the files and executing the commands, we already did that. Okay, now let's try with OK command. OK means that it will ask before removing. So let's do this. We are going to create time testing.txt, and then we are going to issue this command. Let's go in the same, let's go into this opt. So find file, we have this find file anyway. So what I'm going to do is find in opt. Okay, and the name of the file is find file.txt, and this time what I'm going to do, I am going to issue this command with OK dash OK rm dash rf, or like just remove it, and the placeholder, and this time if I press enter, it's, you can see that it's asking me. So if I press Y, it's going to delete it. If I just press enter, it's not going to delete. We can check, we still have it. Okay, but what will happen if I press Y? And this time the file is gone. Okay, perfect. Okay, so guys, that is the end of our find command video series. So, or it's not a series actually, it's the end of the find command. It's a very useful command anyway, and I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Please do subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please join our Facebook group. It's a Linux LZH project. Please like our Facebook page. It's facebook.com/LinuxKing77. Okay, and please share this with your friends and family, and do comment, and see you in next video. Goodbye.